Comfort feels safe. That's why so many people choose it. They choose routines that no longer inspire them, jobs that no longer challenge them, and lives that no longer excite them, simply because it feels familiar. But here's the dangerous part about comfort. It never destroys your life all at once. It happens slowly, quietly, one excuse at a time, one delayed dream at a time, one avoided risk at a time. And before you realize it, years have passed, and you're still standing in the same place wondering why nothing changed. Success was never built inside comfort. Growth does not happen when life is easy. Confidence is not created when everything feels safe. The strongest people in the world became strong because they were willing to step into uncertainty while everyone else stayed comfortable. The truth is, your comfort zone may feel peaceful, but it is also the place where ambition dies, potential disappears, and dreams slowly fade away. So today, I want to challenge the mindset that is keeping you stuck. I want to show you why comfort is the enemy of success and why the life you truly want begins the moment you become willing to feel uncomfortable. Comfort creates limits that most people cannot even see. That is what makes it dangerous. When life becomes too comfortable, people stop pushing themselves, stop taking risks, and stop exploring what they are truly capable of becoming. Everything begins to feel good enough, and slowly ambition starts disappearing. The problem is not comfort itself. The problem is staying in it for too long until it becomes a permanent lifestyle. Many people think they are stuck because they lack opportunities, talent, or resources, but often the real reason is that they have accepted a smaller version of life because it feels safe. Comfort convinces people to avoid challenges, difficult conversations, and uncertain situations. It teaches the mind to choose convenience over growth. Over time, those choices become habits, and those habits create invisible boundaries around a person's potential. The scariest part is that comfort rarely feels harmful in the moment. It feels relaxing. It feels predictable. It feels secure. But while you stay comfortable, someone else is growing, learning, taking risks, and building the future you keep dreaming about. Success demands expansion, and expansion always requires discomfort. The moment you stop challenging yourself is the moment you stop evolving. A comfortable life may protect you from failure, but it can also quietly protect you from becoming extraordinary. Every meaningful transformation in life begins with discomfort. Growth does not happen when everything feels easy, predictable, and safe. It happens when you challenge yourself beyond your current limits. The reason most people stay stuck is because they avoid uncomfortable situations. They avoid failure, rejection, uncertainty, and pressure, not realizing that those very experiences are what create strength, confidence, and progress. Discomfort forces you to adapt. It pushes your mind to think differently, your habits to change, and your character to become stronger. When you step into difficult situations, you discover abilities you never knew you had. But if you always stay where life feels comfortable, your potential remains hidden. A person who never takes risks never learns how capable they truly are. Most successful people did not grow because life was easy for them. They grew because they faced challenges that demanded more from them. Difficult moments build resilience. Failure teaches lessons. Pressure creates discipline. Struggle develops mental toughness. These things cannot be learned inside comfort. The human mind naturally seeks safety, which is why discomfort feels unnatural at first. But the more you face uncomfortable situations, the stronger and more confident you become. What once scared you eventually becomes normal. Growth requires entering environments that test your patience, discipline, and courage, because comfort may feel peaceful, but discomfort is where transformation begins. Fear has a powerful way of keeping people attached to safety. Most people do not stay inside their comfort zones because they are happy there. They stay because they are afraid of what could happen outside of it. Fear convinces them that failure will embarrass them, rejection will break them, and uncertainty will destroy their stability. So instead of chasing growth, they choose familiarity because it feels less risky. The problem is that safety can become addictive. When people repeatedly avoid difficult situations, their minds begin to associate comfort with protection. Over time, they lose the willingness to take chances, try new things, or challenge themselves. Small fears grow larger because they are never confronted. The longer fear controls decisions, the smaller a person's world becomes. Fear often disguises itself as logic. People say they are waiting for the right time, or being realistic, when deep down they are simply afraid to fail. They convince themselves that staying comfortable is smart. But comfort slowly steals confidence, ambition, and opportunity. The mind becomes trapped in routines that feel secure but no longer create growth. Every successful person has faced fear. The difference is that they refuse to let fear make their decisions. They understood that safety may protect you from temporary pain, but it can also keep you trapped in an average life you were never meant to live in. Comfort becomes dangerous when it turns into a cycle. People get used to doing only what feels easy, familiar, and convenient. They avoid difficult work, delay important decisions, and choose temporary pleasure over long-term growth. Over time, this pattern becomes automatic. The mind begins to resist anything uncomfortable, even when that discomfort could completely transform a person's life. This is where discipline becomes essential. Discipline breaks the cycle of comfort by teaching you to act regardless of how you feel. It forces you to do what is necessary instead of what is convenient. Most people wait for motivation before taking action, but motivation disappears quickly. Discipline is what keeps you moving when excitement fades and comfort starts calling you back. Every disciplined action weakens the control comfort has over your life. Waking up early when you want to stay in bed, continuing your work when distractions appear, exercising when you feel lazy, and staying committed during difficult moments slowly build mental strength. These small actions train your mind to prioritize growth over comfort. Discipline also creates self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence becomes stronger. You begin trusting your ability to handle challenges instead of avoiding them. The people who achieve extraordinary results are usually not the most talented. They are often the ones who learned how to stay disciplined long after others return to comfort. Success always involves risk because growth requires stepping into uncertainty. Every major opportunity in life comes with the possibility of failure, criticism, rejection, or loss. That is why so many people never reach their full potential. They want success, but they are unwilling to take the risks that success demands. They wait for guarantees, perfect conditions, and complete certainty before making a move. But life rarely works that way. Risk forces people to leave behind what feels safe and familiar. Starting a business, changing careers, speaking up, chasing a dream, or making a difficult decision all require courage because the outcome is never fully guaranteed. The fear of failure stops many people before they even begin. They convince themselves that staying comfortable is smarter than taking chances. But avoiding risk often leads to regret. The truth is that every successful person has faced uncertainty. They moved forward without knowing exactly how everything would work out. They understood that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of the process that leads to success. Without risk, there is no growth, no learning, and no transformation. Playing safe may protect you from temporary disappointment, but it can also prevent you from discovering what your life could become. The biggest rewards usually exist on the other side of fear, uncertainty, and uncomfortable decisions that most people are too afraid to make. Most people never truly discover what they are capable of because they spend their lives avoiding discomfort. They stay inside routines that feel safe, predictable, and familiar, believing that comfort will make them happy. But comfort often hides potential. When people stop challenging themselves, they stop growing, and when growth stops, potential remains buried beneath fear and routine. Human beings are capable of far more than they realize, but those abilities only appear during difficult moments. Strength is discovered during struggle. Confidence is built through challenges. Leadership develops under pressure. Creativity grows when problems must be solved. None of these qualities are revealed in a life that never demands more from you. Comfortable people often underestimate themselves because they never test their limits. They avoid situations where failure is possible, so they never gain the experience that builds resilience and belief. Over time, they settle for average results because average feels safe. They begin accepting less from life simply because they are afraid of discomfort. The people who achieve extraordinary things are usually the ones who were willing to enter uncertain situations repeatedly. They allowed themselves to fail, learn, adapt, and grow stronger through experience. Every challenge expanded their mindset and revealed new abilities they never knew they had. A potential is not discovered through thinking about greatness. It is discovered through action, risk, discomfort, and the willingness to keep moving forward even when life feels difficult and uncertain. Your future is shaped by the choices you avoid today. Most people think success is determined by talent, luck, or opportunity, but in reality, life often changes because of the difficult decisions people are willing to make. The uncomfortable conversation you keep delaying, the risk you are too afraid to take, the habit you refuse to change, or the dream you continue ignoring may be the exact things standing between you and the future you want. Hard choices are difficult because they demand sacrifice. They force you to leave behind comfort, certainty, and familiar routines. The mind naturally resists these moments because it wants safety and immediate relief. That is why so many people stay trapped in situations that no longer help them grow. They know change is necessary, but fear convinces them to wait a little longer. Every major breakthrough in life begins with a decision most people are too afraid to make. Growth requires courage. It requires choosing long-term progress over short-term comfort. The strongest people are not always the smartest or most talented. They are often the ones willing to face temporary discomfort in order to create a better future. Years from now, your life will reflect the standards you accepted and the decisions you made during difficult moments. The question is not whether hard choices will appear in your life, because they always do. The real question is, will you keep choosing comfort, or will you choose the future you truly deserve?